Hi, welcome to Whiskey and Wealth. I'm Jim Schwartzbauer. Thank you for joining. Today, I am talking about the chaos that comes from within. What do I mean by the chaos that comes from within? Many of you may not know, but as Albert Einstein once said, that everything is made up of energy, right? So anything and everything in this universe has an energy, whether it's static or dynamic. Like your table has energy. It's compressed. It doesn't have as great of frequencies. But if we human beings are all made up of energy, frequency, right? So if you were to take a telescope or a microscope and you were to look in deep into our hand, you go behind the skin, these cells and the organisms and all that, you'd be able to go right through us. Everything is moving, is in a constant state of movement. So when we talk about that, and then that's where we're with our minds, we look at our minds. Our mind, when we're born, has a conscious thought, right? Or I'm sorry, our mind is just has a conscious state, right? There's a conscious and a subconscious mind. Okay, so your conscious mind is static. There's nothing going on right now. It's a static energy, and thought is dynamic energy, and it puts that into motion. So when we're all born, we just have conscious. We have no subconscious, right? As we go through the conscious mind validates reality, and then it puts it into the subconscious. Your subconscious mind helps as a reaction state where you react, like you're moving your arms, driving a car, just talking, things like that, because it's been put into your mind and you've been validated year time and time and time. That's why we practice things, right? When you become an athlete, you want to practice, become a subconscious, you want to react. Or when it comes down to, let's just say, self-defense, not everybody would react the same, but if you consciously redo the same thing over and over and over, it becomes subconscious, right? It becomes a reactive state. So your conscious mind and your subconscious, they work together because you're conscious. That's why they say when you want to be conscious of something, be conscious of what you're doing, because your subconscious is going to react to something. If you see something out in the world that you don't validate as real and you react to it, a lot of stuff in social media that happens where everyone's reacting, and you might regret what you do, but it's a reaction, right? So then you get an effect afterwards because people will explode back at you of what you said or what you did, right? Because you believe that's what is true, right? So that's from that you believe is true, and so it's a reaction towards it. And that's where we want to look at that, is because your conscious mind, you have to be aware of what's inside of you. Your chaos comes from within, is what I mean, right? So your chaos, whatever's inside of you, you project out with that energy. Okay, that energy comes out. So if you have chaos within, your house is disarray, you're spending money frivolously, you don't have control of things because it's coming from within and it's projected out. That energy comes out and everything energy wise. So if you have anger comes out because you have anger within. You're not happy with yourself internally, and that's where everything comes out. So your anger comes out, and that's a reactive state. And so your mental strength is secured the same way as your physical strength is. It's through exercise, right? So you keep practicing and practicing, and eventually you'll harness that anger, and it won't be coming out. And the other biggest thing is, like I talked about earlier, was the frequency, right? We're all made up of frequencies. As Einstein said, energy, frequency, and we all operate on positive frequencies. So that if you would take in, let's just say, alcohol, that'll lower your frequency. And if you are taking in bad foods like uh, Twinkies, ho-hos, stuff like that, and you're not eating optimal foods, that's going to lower your energy. That's going to lower your mood. You're going to be in a subsided state, and that's where anger comes within as well. And that is projected out. As I was saying before, our energy, everything from within comes without. So your world without is from within. So people can see that. And that's why people say that nobody wants to be around a negative Nelly, right? Because their energy is bringing them down. So that's where in a frequency mode, you want to operate at the highest efficiency as you can. So if that's cutting out alcohol, if it's cutting out, bad foods, exercising, bring your state of mind up and you can focus on other things. And that's what a lot of people don't realize. As everything, the world marketing is huge. It really it manipulates people to thinking like, oh hey, like if you look at like a bag of let's just say now, like the Lucky Charms thing that they're talking about, it's like at the same concept of like skinless chicken, like a pure chicken breast, as they're saying, is like right below that for healthiness. They might be talking about the vitamins they put into that. They genetically modify into those grains or whatever, but on top of that, all the sugars that are in there are stripping those vitamins right back out. So people don't realize that, and those sugars are bringing your energy down. And the marketing is telling you that this is good because they want you in a subsided state. And I hate to talk about it that way, but that's just what it is. And you have to understand that. Look, I'm not perfect. I was called, my cousin at one time told me that I was a very negative person. He didn't want to be around me. I thought about that, and I was like, wow, coming from somebody, he was my brother, basically, right? We still talk all the time now. I changed myself because when you, like I said, nobody wants to be around a negative person. I was in a spot where I was drinking a lot. I was eating bad foods. I wasn't conscious of my health. But then I also thought the world was against me until you start changing your mindset. And that's where everything has to come. Is you have to want to change your mindset. You want to make these changes for you, because no one's going to do it for yourself. People can see it on the outside. Like I said, I was projecting that out. I was projecting that into my cousins, into my family, into my friends. And they were stopping to hang out with me because of that reason. So what I had to do was I had to practice. I had, because everything is indoctrinating you throughout time, right? You believe something for so long. After 40 years, 41 years, I believed something was right. And then you have to look back and understand, well, maybe it wasn't right. Maybe so you have to practice to change that, right? If you use your right hand out all the time, your dominant right hand, and you can use your left hand, you could become ambidextrous. You just have to practice it and practice it. So if you broke your right hand, you'd have to use your left, right? So subconsciously, you want to use your right hand, but consciously, you have to think about using your left hand. And that's how it is with anything. When it comes to finances, if you were brought up in a family that just let's go spend money, you get the money in and you spend it. And that's how we're indoctrinated into a system. We are, and I hate to say it that way, but we are. Okay, we're brought in, as you go back to the early 1900s for J.D. Rockefeller. He spoke about how he wants a world of workers and not thinkers. So he started the General Board of Education. I believe it was 1901 or 1902, around there, somewhere around there. But basically, we use that same concept today. Okay, we use that same concept today. You get it. You go to school. There's one right answer. Raise your hand. You're right. You're wrong. All right. Now get your education. Get a job. Get married. Buy a house. Start a family. Buy another house. Pay your taxes, get a raise, buy a bigger house, and it's just that cycle that they want you in because they know that the money goes right back to them. So it's a conscious state of mind where you have to understand that it's not that way. If you want to get ahead in life, if you want to figure out a wealthy state of mind, you have to reprogram yourself. And the biggest thing is starting within, looking inside you. Do you spend a lot of money? Cut out frivolous spending. Do you go out to eat a lot? Stop spending money on that. Buy rice and beans. I don't know. I mean, it's not the healthiest. I'm just saying, bring it back a bit. Watch what you're spending, and then once you start cutting that out, like if you go to the Richest Man in Babylon, the book Richest Man in Babylon, it talks about saving 1/10 of everything that you have to spend. I got it. It's cutting out things that you don't need. You don't need a new TV. You don't need that new car. You just 1/10, hold on to that, and hold on to that, hold on to that. And after time, you'll be able to see that savings building up, and then you can reinvest that into something else that can bring you money on top of that. And it'll be a residual income. And then you can leave that job that you're looking at. I know I dovetailed off on a lot of things here, but basically the chaos comes from within. That's basically, we have to start and look inside of ourselves and see who we are, what kind of frequency we're operating on. And until you can harness that, no change will come about. All right, I'm Jim Schwartzbauer. This is Whiskey and Wealth. Please like, share, and I'm going to bring more on this, but I'm going to also talk about crypto and talk about finance, stuff like that. But everything else still starts within our minds and everything around there. So energy, frequency. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.